Hello everyone, so welcome to a quick demo of fentu FSM together with SAP Business One. Please note that this demo and recording is intended to give you a high-level overview. Please note that as well, any demos that we show might not represent the future scenarios that we implement with you. Why? Because our approach is very clear. We want to tailor the integration as well to your business scenario, as well as certain workflows that are happening within each of the applications. So with that, I want to directly start with SAP Business One as one option of where we can actually create the service call, so as an origin point. Of course, we can as well in fentu FSM do the same thing and create the service call from there, so the service case in our case, in order to basically bring it over itself. So, but here from there, we would basically create a service call. We select the customer. In this case, we're going to select the microchips customer because that's already linked to our application. So here we will see as well Judy Brown as a contact person. We basically see the origin, the email, and everything together. We could as well put in the more information basically by itself. We can as well add the technicians here directly if we wanted to, but here we don't want that. We basically have the business partner information, such as ship to, bill to. Here we basically just add quickly the remarks, customer email about certain things, so service for their equipment. We basically can add a solution. So if we already know, okay, we have to put something in, so an item, so that fentu directly gets that item as well received, and we can basically link it together. So in that case, we just gonna look for, let's take the item. Let's take this one, choose. And now basically with that, we can basically say, okay, replace this MRP thing or whatsoever. And basically now we just add it so that it all comes over to our fentu FSM application. With that, then we basically just have a quick look at, for example, the scheduling. We want to say, okay, when is it scheduled? We're just going to schedule it perhaps for next day. Let me click that again. Here, basically, we're going to select the 31st. We're just going to leave the time in. Doesn't really matter. But we want to make it 60 minutes just for the demo purpose. Here as well, we're going to say there's a partner address, so that basically we put the right address over. And now basically we just add the service call, and we need to put in the subject. So let me just copy this one. So once I copy this over to the subject, of course you can name it as ever, however you want it. We just add it here, and great. So now basically just sync it over to our fentu application. Let's just give it a second so that it actually syncs. Let me just check here again. That's all in. So we see as well here the call ID. So basically our service call ID is 28 in this case, so that's basically linked over. This is our fentu FSM application. I'm currently logged in with my user. It's mapped to basically the Business One user, just the naming is different. We can map that, no problem. We have some notifications, so that new tickets, new service cases are being created, or any kind of notifications can come in. We're just gonna see here the different kind of menu items. It's a lighter menu item. We see the cases, the ERP case. So basically here we create automatically a case. This case doesn't have all the information because that's typically the origin part, but we still from our solution create still the case. And you can basically then link it directly to your service call, as well as our work order would be the same. So we could generate a work order from here. If we create a service case, then basically once we create a work order, we as well can create a service call on your side, on the Business One side. Work order itself, same ERP ID because it's linked to the same thing. Here we have a little bit more information. We as well fill out a branch, so if you have multiple branches, we can maintain that. We have the plan date, the execution date, the description, the location, the task itself is created but not put in. We have the parts as well, and everything else is kept empty first now. We can go over to the resource dispatcher. It's just going to take a second to load. We see here our two employees because they're both assigned to branch 1. I simply drag over, and in this case this one. So then it takes the timing. We selected very odd timing, so we're just gonna put in the timing here again. Okay, yeah. All right, 8:43, perfect. And now basically we go ahead and look for an asset. So basically, what do we need to maintain? The machine itself was not given by the ticket because in this scenario we maintain it. I'm just gonna select something from a similar company, so a vending machine, great. Visibility of course could be restricted in future. And now basically I can just add that as well to my service call. Okay, now we have the asset. The part could be as well taken over from the part. However, we have the part on the work order, not on the task. It's two different things. So here basically we have the checklist, not this one, this one, yep. And now basically we just create this. So now basically creates it for Julie. And now we see basically Julie is now scheduled here in the demo system. We could have changed it, and now let me just add one more technician because we want to have basically both technicians for this demo as well as side. Just a second here, it's loading the different technicians itself from the backend. We see multiple other technicians. We only gonna select the two that as well link to SAP Business One because basically other ones are created in our system itself. Great, we see that Julie wouldn't be available, but we can still see different filters. Great, other filters or things we don't need at the moment. And now we basically dispatched that service case. So we can simply add some more information to it if we wanted to, but for this scenario, we're just gonna keep it simple. All right, then let's head over to the mobile application. So this is a mobile application simulator. I just can head over to the third years, nothing's planned. So basically we're just gonna go over to the third first. We didn't put it as a fixed meeting, so that's great. At least now I could already execute it and don't need to wait for tomorrow. So here basically we see this information. I could as well change the execution date directly here manually, or I just wait and have the system automatically generate that. Here we see the asset, what we need to maintain, repair. So basically here I just need to, because first time I'm doing this asset, I need to verify it, that's the right one. I start the checklist and basically just click through. So I just gonna go through this a bit faster because we already had this quite a few times demonstrated. I'm just gonna fill this part out, make it easy. Okay, like this. Okay, next, yep, perfect. Just okay, another text. Okay. Move over. When was it done? Done. Okay, yes, configuration, perfect. Now basically we have done already our service. In this scenario we want to add the material consumption. Why? Because we said in this workflow the technician needs to add it. Why? Because it might be a different part than was originally assigned, just to make sure that it's actually mapped. So I just can look for MRP, perfect, it's already linked. Add say one, I could put a description in there, and I say basically work time spent. So here basically it would now calculate it per person. So if I say for me it's 1 hour, we have 2 people on it, so later on it would basically go for 2 hours. And so just to make it very simple, we can as well say work completed or put exchange parts in it. So as well if it's anything else than a material, so for example if we use extra glue, things like that, or anything else that we need to exchange on time, we could put that here. It's a different part, and just now we say complete. And customer review, let's have the customer review everything. Signature, so customer signature done, as well done, confirm. And now technician, let me just sign that as well. Okay, just draw a little bit, and all done, completed. So that's already from technician, just very fast run through. And now basically, okay, let's go back to fentu application just to have a quick look. Yeah, here. So basically now it says it's completed. and we can basically take a look at this part. So basically change the execution date. We will see basically the task has been renamed because it's basically once we scheduled it. We see the work order report, all this kind of information. We could generate the PDF on the top right, but I'm not going to do that right now because going to go through technicians assigned, etc., etc. And that's a bit, yeah. So let's just go back to Business One. We accelerate here a bit the integration workflow and open the service call. So we see that the status has changed to work completed. It's a custom status that we have done. So to map it, it's not closed yet because basically closed is then on Business One side because you opened it. Of course, we could make it as well different. So here we see basically the two activities with two people. When did they work? How long did they work? Any kind of attachments. So on both we have in this scenario attached our service report. It's in German right now. Just ignore that. It's just an example. So but here all the information can be directly stored from then, so you don't have to maintain everything in the fields. Okay, let's just close this and basically. So second person as well, we have the attachment, same attachment, service report again to the service call itself. And on the solution, if you had more products, we could as well add them here. Right now it's just this one product that we used, otherwise more products would basically have here. Related documents shows basically sales quotation in this scenario, not the invoice or anything else. It's basically this indication how we set it up. We see the item and two people worked each 1 hour. They just go in. And basically here then we see the different things like, free text. We see the two people as a free text basically entered by our FSM integration. Activities, let me just go back to activities one more time. Why? Because I discussed that. And we could as well have a different start time and end date, duration. So let's say one is what actual work was done and what is billable. So we could as well differentiate here basically on the two of those as well. And that's it. So basically you could now close it and be done. But that's all it. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks. Bye-bye.